Hey guys, it's Sarah, and today is Booklist Thursday. This is a video series I do with my friend Lindsay over at Lindsay's Little Library. And every Thursday, we bring you some sort of list or book topic that we feel like talking about for the week. And this week, we are going to do opposite is opposite. So we have picked some books that have opposites in the title. And you'll see what I mean when I start showing them to you. Okay, the first one here is His and Hers by Alice Feeney. His and Hers. Now, this one follows a murder, and it also follows two people who are involved in it. So there's a newsreader who's reluctant to cover this case, but she needs to, and a detective who is suspicious of her involvement. But then he becomes a suspect in his own right. And you also get the perspective from the killer in here, which I think is going to be very interesting. So haven't read this one yet, but I really want to. Okay, this next one is Big Lies in a Small Town by Diane Chamberlain. So big and small are in the title. Now, this is a book that is set in North Carolina, like most of Diane Chamberlain's books are, and it is following an art. I don't know if she's a dealer or it just says her dream of a career in art is put on hold because she has been accused of a crime that she did not commit. And I think part of her maybe punishment or something that like as a result of all this is that she has to restore a mural that's in the town. And in doing that, she uncovers a whole lot of the town's secrets and it flips back and forth in timelines as well. So now this one, I saw the title and I was like, I think that's kind of a fun play on this. So I'm going to say Razor Blade Tears by S.A. Cosby because razor blades are very hard and sharp and, and then tears are soft and liquidy. And yeah. Stay with me. Okay. I loved this book. I read this book last year. It was one of my favorites of the year. And we are following two men who are convicted convicts. Their sons were married, but were both murdered in a hate crime that the case just really went cold and the police stopped even trying to investigate it. So they take it upon themselves to figure out who killed their sons. And they use some very creative methods in getting people to talk. Fantastic. Loved this book. Okay, next one is All the Ugly and Wonderful Things. I'm going to say ugly and wonderful. If you use them in the right context, those could be opposites. This is by Bryn Greenwood. This is a book that's really hard for me to recommend, but I still do. Because of the content that's in here. So we are following a young girl who is growing up in a really, really hard environment. Her home life is awful. Her parents are awful. And she gets left behind a lot. She ends up befriending an older man who is part of this friend group that is around her family. And they form this really strong bond that turns into something else. And you see this happening when she is a very young girl. So it's, you're reading it and you get it, but it's also not okay. And it's not portrayed as okay. So it's such an interesting read. It really made me think and it made me question a lot of things. And yeah, it was just, I thought it was done brilliantly. Not everyone likes it. Not everyone can handle it. Not everyone wants to read it. And I understand that completely. For me, it was 5 stars. Okay, hint. Next, this one kind of made me giggle when I saw the title. I was like, Doctors and Friends by Kimberly Martin. Sometimes doctors could be our friends. Sometimes they're not. Let's just say that. So this follows a group of friends who are doctors. There are 3 of them. They met in medical school and kept in touch. They live all over the country at this point in their lives. And they take a yearly trip together to kind of decompress, get away from everything, connect again, all that kind of stuff. And I believe that this is... It's not COVID-19, but there is a pandemic that breaks out right after one of their trips. And it's kind of how it's affecting each of them in their different areas and what's happening. But this was written before COVID-19. came out. So or before COVID-19 happened. So that's kind of interesting because, very soon after this book was written, things started happening. But yeah, so, but I really like Kimmery Martin, and this is definitely a book that I would like to get to at some point. Okay, last one, Peace and Turmoil by Elliot Brooks. Now, this is the first book in a fantasy series. I feel like I might have started this on my Kindle a long time ago, like when it was first coming out. And I don't know what happened, but I didn't get too far into it, and I had put it down for some reason, and I just had never gone back to it. But I found this at a library sale, and I was very excited because this cover is stunning, and this is a big chunky book. But Elliot Brooks is a booktuber, so I will leave her channel link down below if that name sounds familiar. She is a very, very good fantasy channel. If you want fantasy recommendations, she's one of my go-tos for that. So she wrote a book, and I think she's working on book 2 as well. But I would definitely like to go back to finish this one. And I haven't looked too much into the synopsis because I'm starting to get to a point where I just don't want to read a whole lot of synopses anymore. I just want to kind of go into books and let them show me what they're about. But but Peace and Turmoil, definitely opposites. Okay, guys, those are some books that I noticed on my shelf that have opposites in the title. Please let me know some book titles that you can think of that have opposites in the title. I just think it's fun. And go check out Lindsay and see what books she's talking about today as well. And we will see you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.